some brand new technology there, and we're shouting it from the mountaintops for people to hear to be safe.
We could start to see some heavy downpours later today. The rain is starting to fill in after drizzle this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, a much more active radar right now.
Yeah, really starting to see the coverage increase considerably. Some steady rain here in the eastern part of the state is now spreading in across our viewing area. Not a lot of lightning with this. There's some pockets where it's a little bit heavier. We'll move up here to parts of Franklin County, past Lewisburg, over toward Creedmoor, Wake Forest, Rollsville. We're seeing all of this move from east to west. That's not the typical way we see rain moving across our area, but the center of the circulation of the storm is down to the south, and it rotates counterclockwise, and so that's why the rain is moving in this direction, and we'll continue to see it filling in. Look at Amy. They are moving along past Lumberton up I-95. We'll take a look. They just drove through this rain band. We're going to take a live picture there, and you can see that the rain has tapered off just a little bit as they're moving out of that rain band and up on north, up toward Fayetteville and Hope Mills. It looks like everything's moving along just fine out there on I-95, but look at all the water standing on the side of the road. You can tell there has been a lot of it out there, so just be careful if you're going to be traveling. Note that tonight and tomorrow, you want to stay put if you can, because that rain's really going to pick up in intensity. So thanks to Amy and Jamie for being out there on the road for us. Let's take a look at what happened this morning. Of course, as I was just talking about, the system rotates counterclockwise, and overnight it dragged in some dry air that moved in, so it looked completely different this morning as we had all that dry air making its way in. Well, as it's sitting out here off the coast of South Carolina, it's beginning to collect a little bit more moisture, and it's going to start to interact with this trough of low pressure. That trough will act a little bit like a weak front, and you know what happens when we have a front? It creates a lift. When we create lift, that's when we create storms and rain, and that's just going to create a more intense situation for us. So this is 5 o'clock, and you can see that system dropping in. The two of these kind of colliding together to create something a little bit stronger. So this is 6 a.m. on Thursday, and you can see the center of circulation lifting northward. The center may not pass right over our viewing area. It may be a little bit farther to our west. One implication of that is this is the side of the center of circulation where we would more likely see tornadoes. So that may bump up our potential for tornadoes if the center passes to our west, closer to the mountains. For the rest of the day today, we're going to continue to see the rainfall gradually increasing, but boy, we get into some really heavy rain late tonight and early tomorrow morning. There's 6 a.m., there's lunchtime, there's 5 o'clock. Some of the heaviest rainfall totals may be back across parts of the Piedmont and the foothills, but we're going to see plenty of it that could cause some flooding as well. Around the Triangle, an additional 4 to 6 inches. We've already seen over an inch of rain in the Triangle. And then down in Fayetteville, 5 to 7, Clinton 5 to 7, there's already been 2 inches of rain down there. So just more of this to come. Our chance for tornadoes today in our viewing area is fairly minimal, but tomorrow we have this level 2 risk that's going to be from Goldsboro northward up the I-95 corridor. But really anybody east of the Triangle has a decent chance of at least an isolated tornado or two. Let's talk about those rivers. The forecast has dropped a little bit. This is great news for the Lumber River at Lumberton. This is an area that floods so easily. It's looking like moderate flooding starting now all the way through Friday. We take a look at the Neuse River at Clayton, and it's likely to come up to minor, almost moderate by early Friday morning. It may climb a little bit more. The Neuse River downstream at Smithfield is likely to be up to moderate flood stage on Saturday, and so is the Neuse River at Goldsboro. Even that moderate flooding tends to bring just some minor flooding issues, and we'll talk about some of the other rivers coming up in a little while. It's likely to be fairly gusty on Thursday and into Friday. We take a look at our gusts today, going to be around 20 to 25, but for Thursday and Friday, it could be easily 35 to 40, and we could end up with some isolated portions of the area that are starting to see some trees down and some power outages. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about our coastal impacts, what kind of winds they're seeing, and what's going on with the storm surge.